Hi y'all, my name is Dee and I love to suffer. Let me start this video off by saying this is the second time recording this. I'm very frustrated. Last week, I almost astral projected directly to hell because not only was it the first time of me shooting a reaction video to the anime Baki, YouTube decided to bend me over and then shove me directly into a pile of very angry ants. I fought tooth and nail to upload that fucking video. But luckily, fellow YouTuber Tommy Grabowski, he's helped me before. He's amazing. He's very nice. Girl, fix your damn boob. He shot me a DM and taught me a few things that I didn't really know about. So it was very exciting to learn something. And it was also very nice to know that someone else had experienced the same thing I did. He is primarily a metalhead reacts channel. He loves Megan Thee Stallion. His videos are very funny. I do recommend them to you, so go give those a watch. Thank you so much, Tommy, yet again. So in today's continuation of suffering, Thursday, I decided to film. Had a pep in my step and a twinkle in my eye like the days of old, you know, before Christ. Anyway, I filmed an hour and 26-minute long video in slow-mo. So I was able to take the slow-mo off, but the video looked super grainy. It looked like shit. I knew it was something that I wasn't going to be proud of, so I decided to sit down, write a script, and actually reshoot everything. All the settings are right. My camera is good. The microphone is plugged in, and I think this time I got it. The absolute crushing wave of well fuck just washed over the remains of the little spirit that I had left. And all that was left was rage and sin. So, in an attempt not to fall victim to my baser nature, I have chosen to reshoot, and without further ado, let's talk about the 1992 film Juice. And the absolute fucking riot that it was. So it opens up with 4 boys, and it's showing each of their lives and how these little niggas probably not gonna show up to school until 12 p.m. Like, I don't understand. Why is it so bright outside? Because I remember when I was younger and I was, back in the day, when I was getting out for high school, it was dark as shit. Like, God was still asleep by the time I was getting ready for fucking school. So I don't understand why the sun was fully out and none of the parents seemed to have any other urgency. Well, I mean, they seemed urgent, but I'm like, why didn't y'all wake them up earlier? I also would like to mention that Quincy's mom was a whole bitch. She woke up mad as hell. Don't you realize that if you wake up angry, that is gonna set the tone for your fucking day? I can't sit here in my Caucasian home, nor can I sit here on Lucifer's internet and say that I wasn't triggered, because bitch, I was. Now that I'm thinking about it, where the fuck were all the parents when all of this other shit was going on? One sec, I'm finna call them people on y'all. CPS is on the way. They also show all of the other families. I got fixated on Quincy for a bit because his mom was an asshole. But I have a couple questions. One, why the fuck was the relationship between Raheem and, I'm assuming, his sister, kind of giving Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver Ultimate vibes? Like, what the fuck was that? What happened there? If you know, you know. But I think y'all understand
because of the implications.
I only mention this because at the bathroom, when she was getting ready for her interview and he was still in the bathroom, it was really giving chemistry. It was giving sexual tension. And I am uncomfortable. Also, I feel like I need to throw this in here because just before I went back in, because I was still doing a little bit of research on my lunch, when I was looking up the ages of all of the people who were playing the boys. So Raheem Khalil was 26 at the time. Tupac was in his early 20s, but Omar Epps and Jermaine were both actually 17-year-olds. I have a lot of feelings about that, and I will get to those later. 2, did I miss something about Bishop's father? Because, baby, they threw that catatonic nigga into the camera and say, here, girl, I don't know, I just work here. And they never even go back to him. I have a lot of questions about that, because he was just sitting there like Jack Torrance, and I need to know why. Because there's only vague mentioning of him for the second time when Bishop is interacting with the other gang, but they don't really tell me nothing, and I have problems with that. That's mad weird. Child, anyway, so these little badass niggas decide to skip school, and we see that this damn baby, Raheem, has a dark-skinned queen that he got pregnant. I was really trying to give Raheem the benefit of the doubt because he's so beautiful. His skin was perfect. Oh my God. He proceeded to crawl up under my foreskin and make my damn dick itch. She quite understandably checks his ass. And I'm like, you're begging to be in this little boy's life, but you don't even have a fucking plan. All you're just saying is like, we can be back together. Like, what the fuck is she supposed to do with that? Back together is not gonna pay the fucking rent, sir. And if you were really serious about this, you would have most likely already come to her just with the proof that you were about to put in the work. Like, I got a job, I applied to some colleges, I started going to school again, because none of these little niggas was going to school. Like, I have so many questions. I feel like he was just talking to talk, you know, real fuckboy shit. Yeah, he on her nerves, but he on mine too. Then this damn goon has the nerve to call this woman a bitch, as she is very understandably being pretty cautious about even entertaining the bullshit that you're bringing to her. I don't know how old this woman was, because I was seeing a whole lot of age gaps. So I'm not gonna sit here and say that I know how old that this woman was, but like, I'm gonna assume that if they are 17 in this universe, then she's maybe 18, 19. I'm willing to give you that. And what really just bothers me is that, sir, you are begging for time that you cannot afford, and it smells like fucking broken here. Move. So Raheem, Steele, and Q all meet up, and they see that Bishop is literally being surrounded by this fucking stupid ass gang. And what I don't understand is, from the get-go, Bishop was already talking real spicy. Where did the confidence come from? Especially when your homie's not with you, so I don't understand. Like, why are you so confident that you can beat up like 6 niggas? That don't make sense to me. Go off, son. I'm not here to tell you what you can and cannot do, but it was just weird. As they're walking up and they see him surrounded, he cutting his eyes looking at them like, oh yeah, they finna come tap that ass up. And, you know, I mean, they do. Hold on. And don't think I didn't notice that this was reported to be a Puerto Rican gang when I was reading the shit on it. If that is the case, oh, Mr. Riddler, can you riddle me this? Why is there a Negro in your midst? Not just a Negro that was co-signing. He was the guarantor on the stupid ass shit that this little boy was saying. He is in Bishop's face like, this nigga, stupid nigga. I'm like, is this your king? Now, this is when you really have to sit down and take in the brotherhood that the entire group of the main 4 boys have. Because as soon as they see Bishop surrounded, they pull up. Bishop has hitters, and I love that for them. They're soon ran off by the convenience store owner. Baby, he ran out the front of that fucking convenience store like he was spraying Raid on roaches, and they scattered just the same way. Homeboy was out just swinging. As you're watching this, you want to see the boys as the protagonists, right? But they keep doing bad shit. I want to be on y'all side, but y'all are doing hood rat shit. And I really can't support that as fully as I would like to. Because you niggas should have been in school. They end up at this like weird arcade place or some shit, and fucking surprise Samuel L. Jackson. He materializes out of fucking nowhere. I really was not expecting to see him in this film. I looked over and I was like, Samuel? Like, what are you doing here? And this man has really been acting as long as Morgan Freeman has. And them niggas been old as hell. It's weird. Like, you have these people that are just like perpetually old. Like, if you look back, you might be able to find a young-ish photo of both of them, but they both been old for a minute. You know how it was in the 70s. Like, it'd be people that was, even black people, okay, that would look like they were 70 when they were 28 because they were in these weird ass dark tinted creeper shades. Go look at 70s basketball players and you'll find out half of them were like 25. They all look like they got mortgages and 2 divorces. So the arcade ends up getting raided, and again, you see the bond that, or more specifically, you see the bond that Quincy and Bishop have. They escape the police together as brothers, as friends. There's a lot of really beautiful parallels in the film that aren't explained to us, they're shown to us. And I think that's a really powerful device that most directors really miss the mark on, because you have to trust your audience, and I feel like that's what was happening here. Now, mind you, there's a lot of plot holes that I was like, bitch, what the fuck was that? Like, did y'all cut a whole bunch of shit out? But I do enjoy when directors trust their audience to understand the things that they are presenting to them. So there's 2 more stops, being the record store, where they steal vinyls from the store. And let me tell you, I'm gonna have to find a photo of her. This woman had a forehead like a drive-in theater. It was so fucking big. And again, she is flirting with my 17-year-old son. And I got fucking beef with that. I don't know how old she was, but okay, this was a school day. They were supposed to go to school. The whole film opens up with them supposed to be at fucking school. This woman is at work, which tells me she is no longer in fucking high school. The second interaction, well, the second to last, I guess, errand that they end up going on is they need Quincy to, I guess it's Quincy's turn to go and buy the cigarettes. So they send Quincy into this bar, and there's a man that just got out of jail. This nigga clearly learned nothing from doing that little bid. I think that he stepped directly out of that cell and said, you know what? I choose violence. He very casually says, hey man, hold on. Because they chat a little bit. He says, hold on, I'm about to rob these niggas real quick. I cackle because Quincy hit a Jim Halpert from The Office. He looked at the camera and was like, nah. And he asked him, the dude who just got out of jail, he asked him, he's like, oh, you want to get in on this? Because it's like, nah, nigga, I'm good. Like, I was actually supposed to be in school right quick, so I'm gonna bounce. So he ends up going back out. He tells the boys, like, oh yeah, old dude was in there and he just robbed these people. Like, yeah, this nigga just got out of jail. Bishop, old head ass, goes, oh, we gotta go back in there, man. Raheem was really, like, he was flip-flopping on my heart because he seems like he really cares about these boys, right? So he seems like he wants them to do the responsible thing. But then he also called old girl, the mother of his child, a bitch. And I was like, what the fuck is that, bro? What are you doing? So that made me mad. But then he gets back on my good side by stopping Bishop from going into the fucking the bar. So he was working on me. After they get into that little interaction, they end up back at Steele's house, and Steele ends up cooking some shit, pouring some malt liquor in it. I'm assuming it was eggs and like chopped up sausage or hot dogs. I've been there before, okay? But I ain't never been there to where I had to pour a fucking nasty ass flat hot 40 ounce into my eggs. What the fuck are you doing, my good bitch? This shit looks like Satan's throw up. It was gross. They all eat it because they've been running around all goddamn day, and I guess they missed lunch when they should have been at school. This is at the point where you gotta buckle in, because this is where Bishop's stupid ass goes all the way left. Find out on the news that the dude who just got out of jail was killed in a police standoff while he was robbing the bar. And there were a few reactions to this, and I want to pause just for a moment so I can address a couple of things. This movie is really poignant, and while there are plenty of things that aged like a bowl of fucking grapes, any glimpse of the transphobia, the rape of a minor, which we will get into, that was treated like a fucking relationship, which it wasn't, and it never will be. There are also a lot of things that echo over and over in our lives, especially those of us from urban areas, Black people and people of color. More so Black people, because that's, I feel, who this is targeted to. I understand the anger that Bishop is feeling and has seemingly felt about the cards that he's been dealt. But in my humble opinion, you can see ways that each of the boys have decided to cope with growing up in this type of environment, with the type of people that they're surrounded with. I guess living basically in poverty in a high crime area. Bishop reacts with anger and seemingly with a loss of empathy. Quincy has a plan, and it shows that he's not only using his love of music to cope, he's also using it as a means of getting out. He has a plan to use that love, to use that talent to get him out of the circumstances that he's forced into. Raheem seems to accept his status in life. He seems that he's pretty comfortable with where he is. He has a baby, which unfortunately means, in most cases, that's going to keep you where you are. Most likely means that he is resigned to the fact that this is his home. It ends up being a pretty shitty cycle where people kind of settle. And that seems like what Raheem's route is. And for Steele, he seems to have fallen into humor in order to cope. I've done the same thing. He jokes and he acts as the comic relief in this film. And if I have to talk about the fat, funny friend trope, I'm gonna have to grab my skateboard and ollie into the fucking sun. And because I don't feel like doing that right now, I'm going to move past it. It's a shitty trope. Each of these boys do what most people of color do. They cope. That being said, anger later exhibited by Bishop is being fucking directed at everyone but the system that deserves that anger. He's directing it at his friends, at his family. Granted, the little gang member dude, he deserved to get his ass beat, but he did not deserve the things that happened to him later in this film. Like, bitch, you mad and you keep talking about police and you ain't even mad at the police. Like, nigga, what? That's stupid. You shot at everybody but the damn cops, sir. Lame, loser shit. I'm going to take my wig off and step off my soapbox. Bishop, seemingly imbued by the rage of seeing another black man killed, and is very angry at Raheem for stopping him from going back in there. Just that fucking logic is a very smooth brain energy. Homie didn't even have a gun. None of them had a gun. Only one person had a gun and his ass got shot. What the fuck was he gonna do to stop the bullets from hitting all of them? What was going to stop it? The friendships we made along the way? Nigga, this is not an anime. Y'all was gonna die. Get a grip, nigga. Quincy rightfully gets very angry and he's like, you willing to sacrifice all of our lives because you think that having street cred is just like better than anything? Bitch, that would have been an execution. I believe that Quincy ends up getting really mad because he actually has a plan to get out of Harlem. And you see the contrast between him and Bishop, because I think Bishop is angry and he feels the need to, I guess, react violently because he doesn't have a plan. Bishop is very fucking impulsive. It's just knee-jerk reactions all up and through this bitch. Raheem ends up making Quincy and Bishop make up. And it's not even really a true mending of this, because it seems at this point Bishop's already resenting not only the hand that he's dealt, but he's also resenting his friends for not being as angry as he is. And Quincy's looking at his friends like, look, you guys are okay with the fucking things that are happening to you. Not necessarily Bishop, but like, y'all aren't even trying to do something positive for yourselves. Fucking dip. Do not be friends with people who are not celebrating you, who are not encouraging you, who don't want to see you fucking rise. These niggas is fake, bro. Because Quincy had already been talking about the fact that he wants to enter this audition so that he can possibly DJ at this competition. How are you saying that you're best friends with this boy and y'all aren't absolutely fucking zooted? I hate y'all. Y'all are fucking lame. Y'all are losers, bro. Because like, I know what it feels like to be around people who don't want to see you fucking win. Let's get into it. Don't think I forgot about this rapist ass bitch that Quincy was going to see. That's a rapist. That's a rapist. And okay, let's dive into the information that I realized while I was researching. Omar Epps was actually 17 during this. The woman portraying the rapist was 29. She was a real life grown ass woman. They had like sexual scenes, like you don't see anything explicit, but there's sexual scenes between this actual 17-year-old and this actual adult. And in films, I don't know if this was the case, a legal guardian had to be there while a minor is in a sexual situation. Oh, yikes, yikes. So that means that there was an actual adult that signed off on this shit. This did not need to be a plot point. You were already showing me something disturbing. Outside of all of the police brutality and the gang violence and all that shit, you were already showing me something that was really uncomfortable for me, which was a child with an adult. This woman, I think, was a fucking doctor. If she wasn't a doctor, she was a nurse. She was in the medical profession. This grown ass woman, it doesn't matter how you slice it, this old bitch had no business having her crusty coochie anywhere near my son. Have a problem with this. It makes me mad. And I know that like I'm getting really like heated about this, but like this isn't just a problem in film, it's a problem in real life. There are plenty of children out there being groomed and they get older and they think that these stories of them dating an older person is first a personality trait, and baby, it's not. It's really not a personality trait. What sucks is that you think it's a personality trait because you were fucking around with someone who was much older than you during your formative years, and now you think that you are better than anyone else because you had all of these adult experiences. You are a victim, and I'm so sorry. And especially how it's displayed in this film, because he is a young man. I have stories from my family members of them losing their virginities to old adult, I'm not even gonna say older people, at the ages of like 12, 13, sometimes even younger than that. And they think that it's a badge of honor. It isn't. And I hate that I have seen so many GIFs and so many clips of this film on Tumblr, on literally fucking everywhere. And it really bothers me that no one is talking about two things. This is rape. What Quincy was experiencing was rape. It doesn't matter that they're displaying it to you as something that's nice and quirky, and he's a young man. He's a child. He's 17. It's in the fucking word. He's a teen, and this woman is 29. I get very passionate about this because we protect kids around these fucking parts. It is not normal for children or teens to be with fucking people older than them, especially not for young boys. Do not let people fucking trick you into thinking that because you are a young man, it is okay and normal and cool for you to be fucking around with some grown-ass person. You're a victim, and that isn't fair to you. Society fucking sucks. And also, I need you female rapists to know you will get no reprieve from me. I will fucking skin you. They will have to put me under the damn jailhouse. These little shits with their fake asses tell Quincy, hey man, we about to hit a lick. And Quincy's like, nah son, I have the DJ competition that I actually did really well in the audition from. And my baby does so amazing in that first round. He does amazing. And again, this a little caveat. While I was listening to the other people DJing, how the fuck were you supposed to dance with the mixes that they were doing? The only person whose mix made any sense was Quincy's. I was like, how the fuck am I
can't get jiggy to this shit.
Sir, I cannot understand what the song is trying to make me do. It was the 90s. Them shits had instructions all the time. Wave your hands in the air. Like, I can't get the instructions I need to pop this pussy. Slow down. And there's this scene. It is heart-wrenching because Quincy wins that first round. And it's this beautiful scene of all these people, strangers, fucking excited that Quincy won. They're like, he did fantastic. They're cheering for him. They're clapping for him. And you cut straight through the crowd and you see that everyone is excited and elated for him except his friends. Not any of them have smiles on their face. They're not proud of him. They're not excited for him. You need to be around people who build you the fuck up. That shit is toxic. We're not doing that no more. Not in Lord Lucifer's 2021. Literally, as soon as I saw them, they in the crowd mugging. It really be your own niggas. You gotta keep an eye on these hoes. They really be preying on your downfall. I think at that moment, that's when Q realizes he still has to go on this goddamn robbery run. Robbery run? Oh my God. He has to go do the robbery. He realizes he still has to go do the fucking robbery. They said, but mom said it's my turn on the felony. Y'all niggas going to jail. They take their asses to the store. They talk about the plan. They all have their faces covered. And this poor man is in his convenience store, minding his own business. Here come these niggas. And for some reason, they let Bishop's already fucking sanity declining ass hold the gun. He has a gun on this man. He is fucking terrified. And this is why you do not invite your pop-off friends to the function. This nigga, in the blink of an eye, blows that man's cap back. He is standing saying, please don't shoot me, please don't shoot me. And Bishop's yelling, don't fucking move. This man didn't even move. I did not see this man move. He didn't even, I don't think he did even a little shiver. Pop! What? Bishop old itchy fingered ass shoots this man in the head. And for what? Why? Why would you do that? It was like he wanted to have a bad day. He was ready to have a bad day. Annie Oakley and the boys decide to run off. They wait for the cop car to pass and they end up in this abandoned building. And yet again, Bishop said, fuck gun safety, and shoots Raheem. Simply because Raheem was like, we can't take your ass nowhere without you shooting somebody. Of course Raheem's mad. That was not a part of the fucking plan. We're supposed to hit the lick, go back to the DJ competition, head to the Winchester, and wait for this all to blow over. Now, we have 2 dead bodies. We have nice Latino man who ran the fucking convenience store, and my child, Raheem. Man, fuck you. Another turning point in the film, you start to really realize how unhinged Bishop is. Because I feel like he was in that bitch like Bane. That juice, Bishop got me tripping. Q and Steele are very clearly distressed. They just watched one of their best friends get shot and fucking die. Well, he doesn't die immediately because he definitely has a moment, like a fucking jump scare moment. Thus, proving another one of my points. This movie is a horror film. And tell me why. After they just watched their friend be executed, basically, and then they were threatened with said weapon, the murder weapon, that killed one of their best friends, fucking Bishop makes them go back to the DJ competition. And there's this like really, he's only 17 here, but baby, he was acting the shit out of that shell-shockedness, because he walks back into this loud room where he's supposed to be happy. This is his dream. This was the thing that was supposed to get him the fuck up out of here. And tell me how they hit a lick, shot 2 fucking people, and got back in time for the set. And also, while I'm thinking about it, was this neighborhood being gentrified? Because there was cops and ambulances arriving quickly, honey. There had to have been somebody that was white calling some shit in, because that was an urban neighborhood, and we all know cops like to take their sweet, sweet time with the Negroes in the Negro neighborhoods. So it was real weird to see that there was a lot of cops showing up, and showing up quickly. So you start to notice Q and Steele distancing themselves from Bishop. And, well, bitch, it's too damn late for that. Y'all should have started distancing yourselves when he was mad that he didn't get shot with the old dude earlier. That's when it should have started, as far as I'm concerned. Because Bishop has been showing us he is fucking batshit crazy. And none of this shit would have happened, again, if you little niggas was in school, okay? Because this DJ competition was on a school night. Read your fucking books, kids. So they have the funeral for Raheem. And afterwards, in the wake, Bishop was really radiating fuck around and find out energy through the whole wake. And he also ballsy. And he is quite literally all in Raheem's family's face like, if there's anything I can do for you, I need you to know, with peace and love, you ain't shit and you need to be washed in the blood of the Lamb. The behavior you are exhibiting is fucking demonic. After this, Bishop starts noticing that the boys are pulling away from him, and he does his best impression of a crazy ex-girlfriend. He throwing rocks at Q's fucking window, popping up at fucking Steele's house. He was at Q's window like, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair, or I will let loose my chopper in there. After this, it's a little series of him trying to, I guess, be seen. Q and Steele see Bishop about to get beat up yet again by the rival gang, the Puerto Rican gang with the one Negro, the lone Negro. Bishop surrounded. Q and Steele walking up. They make eye contact. And just as they make eye contact, honey, Steele and Q said, I'm sorry to this man. If I were to see him out on the streets, well, I wouldn't know a thing. They leave his ass there. But there's also another parallel. We see at this point in the film, whereas Bishop is surrounded by the rival gang, this time his friends, his brothers, are no longer coming to his aid. It's solidified in the viewer's eyes that at this point, the bond that they had before is dissolved. The murder of Raheem is the direct result of Bishop losing his only family outside of his mother and what is left of his father. But even more now, you see this newly forming Bishop that is solely reliant on the juice that he's created for himself. And by embracing the street cred that he's been chasing after, he's becoming a much, much darker version of who we see at the very beginning of the film. We see for ourselves that absolute power corrupts absolutely, which results in yet another death carried out by Bishop. In broad daylight, he ends up being more and more confident with each kill, and after being questioned by the police and being released and not questioned again, you realize that he's escalating. The first 2 murders were done at night. This murder was literally broad daylight right after the police had chased them. So the police are still in the area. Child, by the time they decide to take their asses back to school, Q can't even remember his damn locker code. And it doesn't matter because when the bell rings, they have a loud ass conversation about the death of Raheem, murder of the convenience store clerk, and now Bishop confirms that he no longer needs the solidarity, the safety of mutual suffering. He said, I don't give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck about them niggas. I don't even give a fuck about me. All he cared about at that point, when you see him, he's like, bitch, I need you niggas to be afraid of me. That's the only thing he cared about. He didn't care if he lived or died. He just needed to know that he was leaving behind some kind of fucked up legacy of him being Billy Badass. It's a mess. After this, he takes his serial killing ass. Yes, he's a serial killer. He's a serial killer. I am mad at y'all for not saying this more. Bishop was a serial killer. He was a kidnapper and he was a serial killer. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Y'all was not talking about the right shit about this movie. Anywho, let me rewind. He takes his serial killer ass to go see Steele and damn near, no. You know what? Fuck that. He definitely, this crazy nigga, for sure kidnapped Steele. And he makes him go to the fucking arcade. You gonna kidnap this man and then take him into public? I guess it wasn't really that many true crime documentaries out for him to study. This is very organic. He was organically becoming a serial killer. While Steele is being kidnapped at this arcade, I'm like, sir, you wasn't trying to blink for help. You didn't want to write some shit on a napkin real quick and slip it to somebody. You was just out here. I don't know. Steele's soft ass calls Q at the rapist's house. That woman's a rapist. I will not let y'all forget it. Rapist. He calls and he tells him that Bishop made him come out and he needs some help. So upon realizing this, he ends up leaving his rapist and goes out to buy a gun. And he becomes pretty resigned in the fact that he is going to have to be the one to clock this nigga out. He says, I'm going to have to go ahead and punch that car, baby, because no one else is doing it. And nobody even realizes that he's doing it. He is out here just he going under the radar, murdering, kidnapping, being a serial killer. Girl, a whole serial killer. I am losing my mind. My baby pretty much decides, he said, you know what, sir? Go ahead and clock out for me, big fella. While the strap is getting got, Bishop hits the fucking gas and immediately goes to 60. He shoots my sweet son, Steele. Again, center mass. And why is he so good at shooting? Because I just didn't get enough backstory on Bishop. I feel like Bishop just snapped. And I feel like there was something else that caused this. I feel like there was a lead up to a snapping, but all we got was him snapping. Okay, we have to take a fucking knee because I really need you guys to hear this. This boy is a serial killer. And y'all ends have been talking about this film for years. Not a single one of you damn coons. Y'all love to fix y'all mouths right now and be like, I love true crime. And you might not have even really been thinking about this movie in a minute, but I feel like in my spirit, I would have identified pretty quick. I am becoming irate. I talked about this shit for probably 40 minutes while I was at work. And we also have to talk about the fact that he fell into this shit so easily, like a goddamn duck to water. Homeboy killed one person and said, I kind of like the way that feels. Saw his best friend, pow, shot him. Then ran from the cops, broad daylight, pow. Oh, the way he did that one, that was when you knew he was getting his third wind. That was 3 deaths, okay? 3. He was getting his third win. Homeboy said, I think we lost him. The dude turns around and go, pop, pop. Didn't even blink. This nigga's crazy. I'm sorry. The audio is going to be all over the place. I can't stop moving. The reason I'm getting so mad is because it's just not sitting right in my spirit. Because y'all, this movie has been out since 1992. And I ain't never heard nobody say Bishop was a serial killer. I might be the only person to say this shit out loud. And I really need security to come get this nigga out of here. Security escort him out. I need him gone. By Bishop being a serial killer, this is a horror film. We sat down and watched Juice, the making of a murderer. This bitch could have been on Shudder. That's how scary it is to me. I will give you second-degree murder for the clerk, right? I might even give you second-degree murder for Raheem. Steal? Wait, no. The gang member? That was premeditated, honey. He had the blicky on him already. That is first-degree murder. And what he did to Steele? First-degree attempted murder. I don't know if Steele survived. They didn't really show him anymore. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Steele died. Sure. Okay, he dead. That's 4 people. That's first-degree too. Quincy ends up going to meet Creeper L. Jackson because he was really flirting with a whole lot of seemingly very young ladies. That don't sit right with me either. That sit on my spirit like a hot comb on my ear. But that's neither here nor there. I don't know nothing about him. That nigga was creepy and I ain't like all that. Quincy ends up telling him, tell that nigga Bishop to come meet me at the fucking Denny's at 9. I'ma rock his shit. I'm just paraphrasing, like that's, that was around what he said. He leaves the arcade and girl, another ambulance. See, look, somebody had to have been telling these people that little white girl baby Anna had been kidnapped because Steele had just got out. The Amber Lambs got there real fucking quick. Well, are they just sitting around waiting for casualties? I don't know. I don't feel like that's the way the 90s was built though, with police brutality. I feel like they were just like, let him bleed out, girl. I don't know. I don't got time to wait. While they're taking Steele and putting him into the ambulance, my first thought was like, oh my God, if he dead, then why y'all not covering him up? And then I realized he was still alive. So he lived, allegedly. Steele gets to the hospital and Dr. Rapist, I'm not gonna let you sleep, girl. I'm not gonna let you sleep. So Dr. Rapist asked Steele what happened. And you know what? Pause. I need to ask the hospital staff, do y'all know what happened? What happened with the fact that one of your doctors is fucking a child? Y'all don't want to talk about that? Y'all want to have a chat about that? Quincy still has Similac on his top lip. The boy still got placenta behind his ear. Let me stop. This bitch nasty and I hate her. So Steele tells her that Bishop shot him. And girl, quiet as it's kept, just like Bishop's daddy, I guess they was just tired of writing for both of them because we don't see them anymore after this. Like, Steele goes softly into the night and I don't hear from Dr. Rapist no more, and they refuse to tell me what the fuck happened with Bishop's dad and why the nigga was catatonic. Yeah, there's that. That's the ending. We're going to go ahead and put a bow on that part of the story because we don't ever come back to it. Quincy is at the Denny's. He said, baby, meet me outside. Catch me outside. Bishop walks his night stalking ass up and he is talking all of the cash shit. This results in a fucking Benny Hill skit. They are running. Bishop is shooting, and just because, girl, it was in the script. I have to stop asking myself questions because I'm like, this nigga was Annie Oakley with the fucking revolver earlier. Now all of a sudden he can't hit shit. He was hitting niggas in the head. He was hitting niggas center mass. And then when he finally does shoot Quincy, he get him in the fucking arm. Sir, you were dead-eye earlier. Now all of a sudden you're shooting like an asshole. It's for the best. I don't want anything to happen to Quincy. I'm not saying that I wanted him to shoot Quincy. I'm just saying that it seems a little weird that now all of a sudden you can't shoot well. This is the part that bothers me because as they're running, earlier we saw every single fucking ambulance. We saw every ambulance. We saw all the cops, and nary a Negro now wants to report on this active shooter. Nobody want to call active shooter in? Because you can hear it. This ain't no silencer, baby. He is not John Wick. He is a psychopath running around with a revolver shooting willy fucking nilly. And now, ain't no cops, no Amber Lambs. And I feel like at this point, all the cops that was riding around, they said, look, girl, y'all got this one. We've had enough today. We've had we have a serial killer on our hands, and we still trying to figure out what's happening over here. We got to do a whole investigation. Y'all got this one. This brings us to my favorite scene in the movie. I have to tell y'all, this is me. The energy radiating off of this scene is very me. They're running through a club, and girl, I guess in the 90s you didn't need to have an ID because these children run through this club Nobody checking no IDs. And I'm pretty sure these niggas didn't even have learner's permits. They was walking everywhere. But I digress. They end up in an elevator. And Quincy is at the very, very back. He's pushed through all of the people. He's standing against the back. And Bishop makes it in at the last moment. He stands facing Q and bitch. Quincy is clearly feeling himself because this nigga, he goes, what the fuck you gonna do? Shoot me in an elevator? When I tell you, Bishop didn't blink. He said, I won't hesitate, bitch. He let off a round in the elevator. He gets wrestled out by the people, the young man towards the front of the elevator. He gets wrestled out, and it's so funny to me, and I cackle because, like, please don't try me. I am the same person that threw a grown man's items just directly the fuck up out of my house because he was trying it. I'm also the person that got called lazy mid-cleaning. I tell you this, I took the bag of trash that I had picked up from all over that apartment, honey, and I ripped that bitch open and threw it everywhere. And I left. Do not play in my face. I am crazy. I don't mind going to jail. I don't give a fuck about my life. Don't play with me. I got shit to lose, bro. So after all of that happens, they leave the elevator. Quincy is still running. They end up on the roof. They have, I guess they were taking the elevator all the way up. And again, we have another very beautiful parallel. Earlier in the film, when they escaped from the police together, they did it as brothers. They did it as friends. They made that leap of faith together, and they got on the other side as friends, as brothers. But in this particular scene, they're on this roof, not as brothers, not as friends, but now as strangers and enemies. Bishop has changed beyond all fucking recognition. And Quincy, I feel like in his mind, feels he has to be the one who puts the damn dog down, which is sad. They're tussling. I think the gun is just out of the equation at this point. They're fighting, and somehow Bishop goes over the edge. You can see on Quincy's face all of the love and memories and brotherhood coming back to him as he's holding on to Bishop's arm. And you can also see the pain of loss and fear, basically of the fucking unknown, as he's holding on to his best friend, the last best friend that he has. You can see on his face that he also seems really desperate to keep at least one of the good things in his life alive, even if that thing has now morphed into something that's not recognizable to him. And then on the other end of the spectrum, hear Bishop and see Bishop is damn near threatening and demanding that Q does not let him fall. And look, let me go ahead and interject real quick. Listen, I wouldn't have even tried to grab his ass. You've killed hella people today. You've been actively trying to kill my ass for the past 40 minutes, and all I wanted to do was throw hands behind the fucking Denny's. But clearly, Q is much kinder than me because he is holding on for his dear goddamn life. He is telling him, I'm not gonna let you go, man. But he starts slipping because that's a grown-ass man. You ever try to drag dead weight? You ever try to pull up dead weight? I'm telling on myself. Either way, it is not easy to pull someone who is unconscious to another area, okay? It is difficult. Q is hurt, Q is angry, but he still loves his friends. He loves all of his friends, despite them not being supportive of his goals, of his dreams, and also using the loyalty that he has for them and pressuring him into jeopardizing his future. And this is the last thread of his old life that he has at his fingertips, that he quite literally watches slip from his grasp. This movie really bums me out. This horror movie is making me sad. Also, now that we've had that little breakdown, let's talk about the gaggle of goon behind him. Y'all just watched this teenage boy unsuccessfully save his best friend. Why ain't nobody come to help him? Why did y'all let that little boy fall? I don't have time, and I'm very confused, and it's making me angry. And I know that they were watching because just as he is parting the red fucking sea in order to go back down, and I'm assuming go look at his dead friend's fucking body, one lone Negro looks at my sweet baby Quincy and says, "You got the juice now." And then the fucking movie ends. Sir, you can juice these nuts. All you niggas standing around could have helped my son. Y'all could have helped him. Y'all watched him let go of his friend. Y'all could even did a citizen's arrest. Y'all didn't watch the little documentary about Richard Ramirez where all them people in that neighborhood beat his ass and subdued him until the cops came? Nobody thought to do that. Y'all just thought, let's let him fall, I guess. Now, my child has PTSD. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200 and go straight to hell. This is from me. All y'all got pissy mattresses on the floor. You got black ass bottoms of your feet. Your tongues are white. And y'all smell like earring bags. Fuck y'all. Mouth dry as hell. We're talking all this shit. That is my recap and my feelings on watching Juice for the very first time. I think that this is a wonderful film. I really, really enjoyed it. I enjoyed all of the characters. Even with the plot holes of me not knowing what the fuck was going on with his dad, what made Bishop snap like that? And I feel like there was a few areas of character development that was severely lacking because it speaks on a lot of things, specifically Black spaces. I think that this film did a fantastic job. I think that all the actors did a fantastic job. I think it very realistically displayed police brutality, peer pressure, feeling trapped, and being in a system that was created for us to fail. And also how said people in that system end up coping with, I guess, the trauma of lack of access, really. I think that all of those things were displayed very realistically, especially with teens being involved and them feeling like they needed to be something better, something bigger, something badder in order to just be respected. And I feel like, well, in street culture, respect is so important. And I understand the fixation because once you get respect, you start gaining access to things that maybe were kind of out of reach for you. And I think that with Bishop, the things that were out of reach for him were respect, were, you know, just goodness. And with him constantly getting his ass roughed up by this damn Puerto Rican gang with the single Negro, I understand. Because if people fear you, they don't fuck with you. So, you know, and if you're feared and not fucked with, you don't have to worry about the cops coming and bothering you, because most people will be too scared to do so. But anyway, I'm rambling. I really hope that you guys like this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and please talk to me in the comment section down below. If there was something that was in the film that I missed, or maybe I glossed over and didn't give enough attention to, let's discuss it. Thank you so much for watching with me and honestly just being here. Even if one person watches this video, I think that's kind of cool. Thank you so much for watching, and please have an intrusive thought.
Nights like this, I wish raindrops would fall. Nights like this, I wish raindrops would fall. Nights like this, I wish raindrops would fall.
Eddie.